In a place called Silver Hill in Maryland, there's a depot where historic old aircraft are restored to their original glory.
In the National Aeronautical Collection, we have about 250 airplanes now.
In the early 1970s, our NBC team went to these vintage aircraft storage grounds outside of Washington, D.C., where acres of hangars hold aircraft awaiting restoration. Many got to be presented in the then new exhibition space at the National Air and Space Museum. One of them is a nearly forgotten aerobatic plane from the 1930s, flown by a daredevil named Roscoe Turner. His 1930s plane was restored to its original glory at Silver Hill, to be hauled overland to the Smithsonian Museum for public exhibition.
Colonel Roscoe Turner, Speed Demon, inspects his powerful racing plane and then climbs in to give several hundred aviation fans a sample of the type of flying that has won for him the East and West and other speed records.
Roscoe Turner was all flamboyance. He sought the limelight to try to publicize both himself and aviation, and did a lot for both. Gilmore was Roscoe Turner's pet lion. In the earlier days of flying, in the early 30s, he flew for the Gilmore Oil Company. That company had a lion as its symbol. So he got a lion cub, and he was photographed very regularly with it.
With a smile and a wave, he's ready to take off for a test spin in his repowered craft. His 1,000-horsepower motor whisks him into the air, and there he goes at the unofficially recorded speed of 305 miles an hour, a new record for the Wayne County Airport course. She certainly is a great little ship, said the colonel when he landed, and he ought to know.
Roscoe Turner's legacy continues for decades, with stunt flyers taking to the air while we filmed. Dawson Ransom and his biplane demonstrated the sport at a local Maryland air show, and he was just as enthusiastic as Roscoe.
What's all of this? Hi, Don. Good to see you. How are you? Yeah, fine. Let me just straight in, no problem at all. It weighs about 700 pounds empty without fuel, and it'll stand on its nose. It'll clear about 15 feet at the top.
How much problem is it to get those wheel flaps off?
No problem. We'll have to take them off. This is the same airplane that the whole team used over in Europe in '72.
Roscoe Turner's Champion was just one of many famous aircraft restored at Silver Hill. The British Spitfire, with its unique place in history, received careful refurbishment.
This is the Mark 7 Spitfire. The original design on the Spitfire was a straight-wing airplane. They found out that the straight wing would not carry the armament that they predicted they needed to carry in the airplane. So they came out with this type of an elliptical wing, which made the Spitfire quite famous. It was England's primary airplane all through the war. It was a very well-made airplane. It was a good airplane.
The so-called World Cruiser by Douglas Air was an early entry to commercial flights. We visited the Fokker, the first airmail carriers, and the dirigibles that once brought travelers across the Atlantic. Even the infamous Enola Gay that delivered the first atomic bomb was under restoration.
Complex here at Silver Hill, and I had never realized what had happened with Enola Gay. I had read a lot about it. When I saw it here, I was surprised. I got my way inside and saw the bad condition it was in. And I mentioned it to Mr. Casey, of the Smithsonian, and he said, well, I'd like to take the job of reconditioning it. I thought it would be a pretty good project. I've been working on it about a year and a half now.
During our visit, Roscoe Turner's freshly restored plane, disassembled and loaded onto flatbeds, rode into Washington, past the monuments and icons that are part of our history. Even before the Air and Space Museum was complete, the Champion was exhibited among other famous aircraft at the Smithsonian Institute. And half a century later, this Champion still has a proud place in our National Air and Space Museum.